Hi family, thanks for watching. It's been raining off and on today. Been kind of bipolar weather, sunny then wet, sunny then wet. So I'm gonna try to be quick out here, continue the audio inside. Basically, this is a review, be like a 3 to 4 months since we put this greenhouse up, and kind of things we've learned from it, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and our general opinion about it. The only thing we really do with this greenhouse is kind of overwinter our plants like our lemon tree and start seedlings. We did seedlings last year inside our home, and we kept the lemon tree inside our studio and had like a grow light over it, which, you know, we have a tiny house, so we were always struggling to find countertop space. So the idea behind the greenhouse is we could start our seedlings in here and not have to worry about hogging up precious counter space in the house.
Now, I should first stipulate that some of the issues, I guess the best word to use, that we had with the greenhouse and weren't really prepared for didn't necessarily have anything to do with the manufacturing, but they are things I wish we would have known before we made this purchase. Big shock for us was the dramatic temperature changes and our inability to kind of deal with that. We bought a smaller greenhouse kit because we had read in advance it was easier to keep warm during the winter nights. And we tried a lot of the passive heating techniques, but nothing really worked. It's something we'll definitely have to play with next winter and look at different things online. But basically, in the days, we got high highs, and in the nights, we got low lows.
There are a few things that are definitely, if you're going to buy one of these cheaper versions, that you need to keep an eye open for.
The first being the extra hidden costs you need to spend to fully construct this kit that are not included. For example, the base. The materials in this kit are lightweight, which makes it easy to ship, but in a windstorm, it will blow away. We purchased pressure-treated wood and anchors as a base and screwed the walls to that base, and it wasn't cheap. The instructions even recommended buying sealant for the panels, which we did. However, they weren't super effective, which leads me to the second problem we had. This thing leaked a lot. The main problem was this edge was useless at keeping out water that would slip between the panels. We applied sealant, but it was not sufficient at plugging the gap. We had major issues with too much moisture in the greenhouse until we tried RV sealant tape. The RV sealant tape kept out a lot of the heavy rains, and we chose black, so it even blends in nicely with the structure. We even added padding around the windows to kind of try to help keep out some of the moisture and keep in some of the heat. The third thing is the door.
We're quite tall, and it's also risen up in order for us to be able to stand in here.
In hindsight, a sliding barn door style would have been kind of nice to have.
But the space inside is not too bad for the small things that we do.
Another thing I will add is this winter was relatively warm. It never snowed. In the end, our main goal was to overwinter our lemon tree, which is sensitive to frost. And last week we started seeing new growth on it, which is exciting for us. We did try growing celery and potatoes through the winter, but I think the wetness killed those plants. We have another potato plant that we planted a bit later, and it's actually going really strong. And the seedlings we just started for our bee garden are also showing promise. The biggest hurdle next winter will just be finding a way to manage the temperature drop after the sun goes down without electricity.
So overall, for a first greenhouse, I have to say I'm actually kind of glad we went with a cheaper unit. It would have been nicer probably if we had used all of our own material. This was a good investment for the time being until we can build something more proper in the next 3 to 5 years, and a good learning curve for us. I would have really hated to have invested $1,000 on a greenhouse and then still learn these hard lessons and then have that high price tag to kind of swallow, bitter pill to swallow as well. Perfect timing, it just started raining. I'm all done.